U.S. sues New York officials over immigration enforcement. The U.S. Justice Department has sued New York state officials, including Governor Kathy Hochul, over alleged failures to enforce federal immigration law. Attorney General Pam Bondi told reporters on Wednesday. Bondi said the lawsuit, which names Attorney General Letitia James and the State's Department Motor Vehicles head Mark Schroeder, takes aim at a green light law that bars the state from sharing vehicle and address information with federal immigration authorities. The complaint filed in federal court in Albany, New York, alleges that the New York law violates a provision of the U.S. Constitution, which holds the federal law preempts state and local laws that may conflict with it. It seems a court order barring New York from enforcing the law. Bondi said the law limits the state's ability to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement because it contains a tip-off provision that requires the state's DMV to inform someone when federal immigration officials request his or her information. I mean, so basically, I dropped something like this on my page talking about how they had already talked about freezing funds to sanctuary cities, and everyone's people were coming in and saying they won't freeze funds to these cities because they know that it would be a much bigger problem. I mean, it will crater the economy. First of all, if you freeze funds to these states right here or these cities, and then these same states stop sending federal tax dollars back to you, will crater the entire economy. So you can't go that way. So this guy said, man, what they need to start doing is just arresting some of these mayors and governors of some of these different places and some of these city officials, and that'll kind of work. So this is what they're doing. At first, they're starting out with lawsuits right now. You know what I mean, trying to enforce them to let them know, or let them to let them into their state so they can go and send the ICE agents in to take care of the immigrants. But a lot of these states are not going to go for it. I think New York might fold sooner than later. You know what I mean? Because
New York's a prideful state. Oh, that's old. That's old America right there.
New York City, man. New York City.
Now, as you see, Donald Trump is from New York. All right, and you see how he acts. Now imagine, and he ain't been there in a minute. Now imagine the people. Yeah, New York people are different. Yeah, I'll say that. New York, them people is they different. You know what I'm saying? They're prideful people. They're stubborn.
I'm mostly looking at the mayor, Eric Adams, only because he went through the situation he went through.
Eric Adams Eric Adams is a shell right now. They be like, look, bro, you gonna do what we gonna say. We tell you to do it. We're gonna bring that corruption. He ain't good for nobody no more.
Most of them are probably in New York City, so he might let them go into the city. I mean, I know that she controls the state, but at the end of the day, like, you gotta look at how close New Jersey is and the rest of these places are. He can send in some ICE agents in there quick to do quick snatch and grabs. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, like, he can do that. You know, so
yeah, I mean that's what they're doing it now. They want total access though. They want to know where they're at, where they're housed, because they're not getting the ones that are hiding. They're getting the ones that are at work,
out and
at school, out and open. They know where they're at because they're waiting for their citizenship to clear. They know where these people. That's why they're making a big show of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had the report where they're sending them to Guantanamo, and these people they're not even high risk. They're just
they're not even commit. They haven't even committed a crime. Most of them came here legally. We got to understand, most of the people he's grabbing right now, they know where they are because they've signed up for immigration. They got an immigration
and they have jobs.
Specialists who they're dealing with. You know what I mean? They're assigned to they have a court date to where they're trying to become citizens. You know what I mean? Like, so it's crazy to me. These people pay taxes. It's all kind of stuff that we're just really not paying attention to. It's really more hate that we're allowing to but so I do hope that, you know, Pam Bondi, she's like, oh well, we're not playing around, and they already filed a lawsuit, I guess, against Illinois. They started out with Illinois already. They didn't probably want to attack the big dog, you know, one of the big dogs first, but now they're going after New York. So now they're gonna have to fight against New York. But they got to understand at the end of the day, federal law supersedes state law, but these states are sovereign. They can pull back wherever they want to. States can break apart from the union if it came down to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially these big states that bring in all the money to the union. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're playing a funky game. What they're trying to do, they want to get their own people in there, which isn't going to happen. I mean, because in most of the states, they're trying to hold off for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Which is, it's not going to work. We're not even 30 days into this dude's stuff. And a lot of people, you can see a lot of people, even Republicans, are like, bro, like, I thought he was going to make our lives better. It's just been chaos. I'm like, well, that's all he did last time. It was just pure chaos. You know, I enjoyed it, because as a Black American, I like to watch everyone suffer besides myself. But like I'm saying, it's just been pure chaos. Actually, I don't like to see people suffer. I want to have a good time. And that's what I liked about Joe Biden. I didn't have to see him every day. I didn't have to hear about him every day. You know what I'm saying?
There's
Like they
always
had to
some
make
fucking
up
problem or
stories.
something
They
going
had to
on all
make
the time.
stories to put him in the news. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy, you're gonna hear about him every day. He gonna
I
write something
almost feel
every
like
day.
I almost feel like he ran through these and put all this stuff out fast so he can get them to either like file a lawsuit, file some type of injunction, so then he can start the process towards court immediately. So now you can't bring that process doesn't come back. Even if they come in, they have a different Congress, that process doesn't fall back. As soon as you start the process, he can start looking at like, okay, maybe this will take a year, maybe two, but by the time I take my little two, boom, I'm already getting in and getting out. And before you even get a new Congress, and maybe I can have my last people vote on whatever it is. The Supreme Court and whoever else rushes this through, like he thinks that like he knows they probably will. Most of these cases, whether it's the birthright citizenship or whatever else it is, this is what he's probably doing it for, just to kind of start the process immediately, see what they'll let me slide with, and then let's start the process on
Well,
everything
they
else
had yeah,
right
they
now.
had all that stuff written and ready for him to go.
Hmm.
He said whatever he said, but it's the people behind him, the Project
Yeah.
2025ers. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that he lied. People, it's crazy. Like they're like, oh, he is doing Project 2025. We're like, yeah, stupid. And a lot of women voted for that, and they don't realize in Project 2025, he gonna snatch your children from you. It
And
says
you're
it in
not
there.
even.
They say because in Project 2025, it says women should not be holding on. They shouldn't be single mothers. They're showing there's and it says you're a terrible person for being a single mother, and they should actually take your kid from you, either give it to the father or put your kid into foster care.
There's another thing they were talking about too, as far as women, where they had brought up a fact of like pretty much that women who are married shouldn't be allowed to vote. It's some crazy stuff that they had, man.
And
They
you're
had
not
some
allowed to
like some really
you're
strange stuff, like
and you're not allowed to get default divorces anymore. It's like if you're in an abusive relationship, you need to take that ass whooping. You know,
pretty
they're gonna
much.
make it harder for you to get to divorce. I mean, this is what people want. You guys want to go back to the 50s? That's cool. I mean, as black people, you ain't gonna get us to go back. Like you saw what happened in
Uh,
Ohio, that was just the lick of it. You saw what happened in Montgomery. Don't make us focus on one group. We told you this. Hey, but
we all coming out ready.
we all
Hold on,
coming
let's
ready.
keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. Let's not.